What I've done was to discontinue anything that had glucose. Glucose is the underlying enemy. Whenever you indulge in glucose, it would be difficult to lose fat.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Honduras,
Yes.
okay, and California. In Honduras, I discovered a plant known as Kuska.
Okay.
Kuska is a plant that the Maya used to use.
Mm-hmm.
And they used another one known as the teosinte.
Okay.
I eat those plants. Those plants doesn't have starch or glucose.
Uh-huh.
You will look at your body losing weight and you're going to get frightened.
You use the word frightened. I've been afraid, I've been scared since I heard you say that you gave up food for 64 days. What did you do during that 64-day period of time that sustained you, that gave you enough energy to just even get up out of the bed?
When I was in the village of Usha in Honduras, we have thermal waters there. We have a thermal water there that has a pH of 9.8. A pH of 9.8, meaning that this substance has a high level of oxygen.
Uh-huh.
And it is oxygen that the body needs,
Okay.
not rice or beans or a piece of meat.
Mm-hmm.
It needs oxygen. That is the fuel of the body. So I drink the water, and I would eating that Kuska.
Uh-huh.
This is a plant that I just discovered lately that the Maya used to eat.
Okay.
Kuska is delicious. It tastes like cucumber.
Uh-huh.
So I ate that, the Kuska plant, I drink the water, and that was it.
And did you have like what would be your normal kind of everyday routine while you went that long without water? I hear you say you were coming to Philadelphia
To do a speech.
To speak. So you were traveling, and I mean, you just weren't. It's not like you were bedridden. You were active.
No, I wasn't bedridden.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't bedridden at all. I was working in the village because I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do in the village, building these huts and directing certain programs.
Yeah.
The organic electric agriculture program that I have going.
Mm-hmm.
So I was busy. You'd be surprised what water does. You see, water, I learned the uses of water in Ecuador. The people of Vilcabamba, their diet is 78% water, 22% solid.
Uh-huh.
Because the body doesn't need that solid food. It needs fuel, and the fuel comes oxygen and water.
Let me ask you, you said the pH
Yes,
in your village, where the thermal water is,
Yes.
is 9.8.
9.8.
And that is compared to what would be in the American water system here. Any idea?
Well, 9.8 is a very high level pH. It's hydrogen ion concentration. A high level of pH and show that you have the amount of oxygen that the body needs, also the minerals. You find that in the thermal waters. In America, there is water here because there was Trinity. Trinity water was thermal, and it was 9.8.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you find it in America also.
Uh-huh. So let me ask you, so in essence, aside from the plant and the water, you fasted from all other kinds of solid food.
Oh, yes.
Okay. How long ago was that?
That was only about 8 months ago.
Uh-huh. And you have a baby on the way now.
Yeah. She's pregnant.
Okay. You're 82 years old, and I'm putting some emphasis on this because it is highly unusual. Do you maintain that it shouldn't be so unusual, or that it's not something so extraordinary about you that other men ought to be able to produce?
Men could do it. Other men could do it. Any man could do it. What I did was to depart from the usual diet
Yeah.
that most men indulges, changing the diet, because remember, I was impotent. I was impotent at 30.
Mm-hmm.
How was it that I could have been impotent at 30 and I'm making babies in my 80s?
A whole lot of viewers out there want to know.
Sure. But see what happened? The information that I got in 1964, many brothers and sisters may not have received that message yet.
And that message is what?
That message came from a Mexican. The message was showing gene food consistency, meaning your cellular predisposition determines what you should eat.
Uh-huh.
So when I went to Mexico, I had already traveled to Russia. I was in St. Petersburg. I was in London. I've been to Spain. I've been to many places in Africa. I was asthmatic. I was impotent. I had diabetes. I was, in fact, crazy. I was placed in an insane asylum in New Jersey in 1961. Schizophrenia and paranoia. So I'm schizophrenic, paranoia, I'm impotent, I'm diabetic, I'm asthmatic from birth. So I go to Mexico.
Yeah.
And the man asked me, where are you from? I said, I am from Honduras.
Yeah.
He said, we cannot talk. I said, why? Because black folks doesn't come from Honduras.
Okay.
Maya come from Honduras. Maya and Paya and Lenca.
Yeah.
So where you from? Oh, I'm from Africa. Now we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Now because you are from Africa, do you believe that God was drunk when he put black people in Africa? I said, no. Well, do you believe that he put a diet there for you? I said, sure. And what's the diet? Rice and beans and potatoes and yams and cows and hogs and lamb. He said, not so. That's not the diet of an African. What is the diet of an African? He said, the same as the Toltec and the Olmec. All that which is native. But I didn't know these things because I was a Muslim.
Okay.
You know, I was in Islam. I love Islam.
Yes.
Islam gave me a whole lot of good things. I mean, I met Elijah Muhammad.
Okay.
I met the messenger, talking to him like I'm talking to you.
Okay.
But the messenger's information at the time needed a little bit more help. So he told me that I could not eat meat any longer, no lamb.
Yeah.
I could not drink any milk.
Yeah.
And
So
I abstained from all these things, and here I am now at 82. I'm happier than I've ever been in my life.
Okay. In the opening of this show, I talked about you having worked with Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Can you tell us about how that came about and what kind of work you did with him?
I was home a Sunday afternoon in Los Angeles on La Cienega. Somebody threw a rock at my window. When I looked outside, it was Randy. Well, I had known Randy over the years, Randy Jackson.
Yes.
Michael Jackson's brother. So he came upstairs. What's it? My brother want to see you. I said, who? Michael. Michael? Michael want to see me? I'm the least of the individual that people want to see. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. I went to see him. And he said he was in agreement with me traveling with him. And I told him that I would be able to help him. Yeah. He couldn't sleep. He was in a very bad emotional state.
What time frame, what time period was this? Do you remember?
2004.
Okay.
I was with him from February until September.
Of 2004.
At the ending of September, I told him, I said, you know, you're singing, you feel good, you're looking good, I'm leaving. He said, don't leave me. I said, why? He said, I want you by my side, but I have a business to build. Yeah. But I love Michael. Michael's beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful brother.
What did you do for him?
What I did for him was this. I gave Michael an intracellular chelation. An intracellular chelation means that I'm going to clean every cell that makes up every organ that totals his biological structure. because he was full of a whole lot of drugs, you know, the pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah.
Couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
His nerve was shattered. So I began treating him.
Yeah.
And at the ending of the period, he was doing good, and I left.
Yeah. Okay. So let's deal with this, because there might be some folks out there that are looking in here and they're saying, well, how did you learn to do these things? One, and I would say, and I think we have something that we'll end up showing on the screen here, regarding in 1979, I think it was, you were charged in New York City with practicing medicine without a license. You were ultimately charged, indicted, and taken before the New York Supreme Court. And I would advise my viewers who might be questioning your authenticity that you won that case. Now, so the charge was practicing medicine without a license and claiming that you had a remedy to cure AIDS, cancer, and diabetes. So the question is, how did you win that case against what some people say are the toughest prosecutors in the land?
Well, it was 1987.
87, not 79,
The
87.
10th of February.
Okay.
My mother knew they were coming. When I told my mama that I had cured my 13 AIDS patient, she said, "They're gonna get you. They're gonna get you."
So let me stop you there. You said I cured my 13 AIDS patients.
Yeah.
So you had 13 patients
Yeah.
who had AIDS.
Yeah.
And then you say
were cured.
you cured them.
Sure.
Keep talking.
So my mother said, "They're gonna get you." I said, "But Mom, why are they gonna get me?" Because you must remember that you live in a society that support a certain philosophy and a certain system. You being the color that you are, black, and then you're going against the grain, they're gonna get you. So when I'm in my office on February the 10th, here come the detectives. You are charged with practicing medicine without a license, selling product not approved by the FDA, and claiming to cure AIDS and other diseases.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Yes." "Well, you are making a fraudulent claim."
Mm-hmm.
I asked the detective, "How do you know that?"
Because you were advertising in newspapers.
Of course. I advertised in the Village Voice, the Amsterdam News, and the New York Post.
And you were telling people through your advertising that you can cure
AIDS, sickle cell, lupus, herpes, blindness, diabetes, paralysis, and others.
Okay, so they come knocking on the door and
So it knocked on my door and took me to jail. But the funny thing about it, I was happy. I was very, very extremely happy. When everybody in my office was crying, I was happy because my mama told me they were coming. And I knew that I had sufficient evidence to prove my position. Not only scientifically, empirically, historically, and whatever way they would desire. So while I was in jail, I'm saying, I wonder what defense they would have against me.
Yeah.
I would like to know. But I didn't blame the Attorney General, Mr. Robert Abrams, because why should he accept from me the statement that I cure AIDS and sickle cell and blindness when no one else has ever made those claims? The man had a right to arrest me, but he was making a mistake. So I'm sitting in jail, and I'm happy. When I got out of jail and when I went in front of the judge, I asked 3 questions.
And they were?
They were, "Your Honor."
You defended yourself?
Of course I did.
Okay.
"Your Honor, is it a fact that the Holy Bible teaches that the herbs are for the healing of the nations?" She said, "Yes."